2024 already looks an exciting year for political enthusiasts. The most number of elections ever held in a year will take place in 2024, during what might turn out to be a pivotal 12 months for the decades that follow. In the upcoming year, there will be numerous presidential and legislative elections in over 50 nations. Furthermore, over 2 billion individuals, or nearly 25% of the global populace, possess the right to vote. India, the most populous and largest democracy in the world, and the United States, the most powerful nation in the world, are among the nations casting ballots. A few organizations have also issued warnings, claiming that the development of artificial intelligence has made the democratic process more vulnerable than before. In many nations, these elections will be the first since generative AI techniques like ChatGPT became generally available. The present technological and social media environment depicts an extreme image of platforms unprepared for the upcoming year against an environment of unexpected, fresh difficulties alongside recognized dangers, a study by the American Progress think tank, which examined the influence of social media on the U.S. midterm elections of 2022, cautioned. The extended aftershocks of the global COVID-19 pandemic, which caused unparalleled harm to the global economy and, according to estimates by the World Health Organization, 14.9 million excess deaths globally, are still being felt in many nations. Let's jump to the list now. 1. India. India is the largest democratic country in the world, and the 1.4 billion citizens of India are represented by the 543 members of parliament, all of whom are up for election using a first-past-the-post method. In 2024, a general election will take place in the largest democracy in the world between April and May. India is a parliamentary democracy where the House chooses the Prime Minister. The 17th Lok Sabha, the current lower house, is scheduled to dissolve in June 2024. Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister, is a candidate for re-election to a further 5-year term. The Hindu nationalist Bharatiya Janata Party, which is in power, is led by him. Previous party campaigns have been based on political Hinduism, nationalism, and welfare initiatives aimed at the poorest residents of the nation. The BJP is the favorite to win again in 2024 after the combination showed to be a winning formula in 2014 and 2019. In recent state elections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and Chhattisgarh, the BJP defeated the main opposition party, the Indian National Congress, which was considered a predictor of the 2024 election. Having its origins in the Indian independence movement, Congress will be running in the election as a member of a coalition of 28 political parties that represent a wide spectrum of ideas. The opposition portrays Mr. Modi as a threat to the nation's democratic institutions and charges him and the BJP of systemic corruption and cronyism. Recent polls showed that Mr. Modi has strong personal approval ratings and is seen by many voters as having elevated India's standing on the world stage. 2. USA. November 5th is when the U.S. presidential election of 2024 will be held. President Joe Biden will likely face former President Donald Trump in a rematch of the 2020 election, but neither the Democrats nor the Republicans have publicly selected their candidate as of yet. The Republican Party's primary elections are scheduled during January to June. Despite opposition from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, and others, Mr. Trump is considered the overwhelming favorite to win the nomination. The U.S. legal system will be crucial to the U.S. elections of 2024. From mishandling secret documents to trying to rig the 2020 election, Mr. Trump is being tried on 4 counts of felonies. One of the most significant days on the Republican primary calendar, Super Tuesday, falls on March 4th, which is also the date of the first of these trial dates. Notwithstanding worries about his advanced age, President Biden is expected to run in the 2024 election as no credible challenger from inside the Democratic Party has surfaced. As the oldest U.S. president ever, Mr. Biden is 81 years old, while Mr. Trump is 77. While opinions on how voters would evaluate Mr. Biden's performance during the last 4 years are divided, the economy is thought to be the defining issue for U.S. voters. Conflicts over culture, immigration, and abortion are just a few of the many domestic issues at hand. 3. Turkey. In March 2024, local elections will take place all across Turkey. Re-elected this year, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is riding high. In a runoff election for president in May, Mr. Erdogan prevailed against opposition candidate Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu. The election was hailed as the opposition's best opportunity to unseat Mr. Erdogan, who has ruled Turkey's politics as prime minister for 20 years and as president since 2014. In the parliamentary elections, his party, the AKP, likewise secured the most seats. The largest city, Istanbul, and the capital, Ankara, have councils controlled by the opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, though elections are scheduled for March. With nearly 16 million residents in Istanbul alone, the mayor has an important voice. Currently serving as mayor of the city, Ekrem İmamoğlu of the CHP, is a vocal opponent of Mr. Erdogan and a prominent member of the opposition. However, it is possible that he will not be able to seek re-election. A Turkish court condemned Mr. İmamoğlu to 2 years and 7 months in prison for making disparaging remarks about members of the nation's electoral council. Although the case is presently being appealed, it may effectively prevent him from participating in the competition. As he previously stated, the ruling proved that there is no justice in today's Turkey. Mr. İmamoğlu rejects the decision. Izmir, the third biggest city in Turkey, is also up for grabs. Voters in Turkey are anticipated to think about the economy, which is hampered by excessive inflation, in addition to local concerns. 4. Pakistan. On February 8, Pakistan will hold an election that is fraught with uncertainty. Imran Khan, the former prime minister, has been officially prohibited from seeking office again following his conviction on corruption charges related to the purported sale of gifts from the government. But, Mr. Khan, who has been behind bars since August, denies the charges and declares he will stand for election. After Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, his party, secured 32% of the vote and grew to become the nation's largest party, he came to power in 2018. A vote of no confidence in Mr. Khan resulted in his removal from office in April 2022. He claims that the military establishment in Pakistan planned his ouster. The Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, led by former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his brother Shahbaz Sharif, who succeeded Mr. Khan as Prime Minister from April to August 2022, is one of the PTI's primary election challengers. After being found guilty of corruption in 2018 and given a 10-year prison sentence, Nawaz Sharif was Prime Minister for 3 non-consecutive terms, before going into exile until this year. The Pakistan People's Party, which is led by the Bhutto dynasty and has its base of support in the southern state of Sindh, will pose a threat to the PTI and PMLN. Numerous more parties are anticipated to collect votes as well. With 141 of the 342 assembly seats, the state of Punjab is regarded as a key battleground. 5. United Kingdom. In 2024, Britain will hold its first general election in 5 years, and the Conservative Party, which has been in power, appears to be losing. The referendum will take place within the next 12 months, as announced by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. The only question today is whether he would call it in the spring or the fall. Most political analysts think he will wait until later, most likely in October, since the Conservatives are routinely more than 15 points behind in polls. In order to maintain his position in Downing Street, Mr. Sunak anticipates that the economy will significantly improve over the next 10 months, with prosperity increasing and inflation continuing to decline. However, he will have a difficult time passing his Rwanda deportation law through Parliament since Liberal Conservatives believe it to be too harsh and right-wing Conservatives believe it to be too soft. That will almost surely lead to further internal strife, which is not going to help the Tories win over a nation still reeling from the shock of the Brexit decision in 2016. The ongoing internal strife will further strengthen Keir Starmer's Labour Party's position of advantage. The party has been in opposition for 13 years. In the event that Mr. Sunak is defeated, there will probably be another Conservative leadership race.